Man, these daily videos, I tell you guys, they're really making me think creatively about what to do. I wouldn't have dreamt, a few months ago that I'd be putting out a video every day. I was actually very reticent about the idea, and I've since realized the value of it, not so much in just slamming out content, which is also good, but also for me in terms of practice and ultimately getting more creative. There's nothing that gets you more creative and thinking deeply about stuff than having the commitment in place to put something out. So the daily commitment of a video is putting the pressure on, that's for sure, for me to come up with something interesting for you guys. So just carrying on, just doing it. Today's video is going to be about this idea of being remarkable, creating remarkable work, and what is it, and why it's important for the content that we create, whether it's a client piece or whether it's a personal project, or whether it's a piece of content that you put out into the internet, a tweet, an Instagram picture, something that gets people's attention towards your creative brand, your business, your name, your personal brand. I recently just put out a new image, a new quote on my Instagram feed, and the quote goes, "It's better to be. You don't have to be perfect to be remarkable. You don't have to be perfect to be remarkable." So being remarkable, which is being able to have an impact on someone in such a way that they sort of remember you and think, "Wow, that's different. That's interesting. That's emotional. That connects with me. That feels right. That feels deep. That feels cool. That feels fun. I remember that. That is remarkable. It's something, the kind of thing that someone would say, "Wow, that's great. I'm going to tell a friend about it." They'd refer the piece, the work, the music, whatever it is that you've created to someone else. That usually is what remarkable does. So we want to create work that is remarkable. We want to create work that makes an impact. We want to create stuff that our clients and customers say, "Flipping heck, man, that's good. That's interesting. I like that. That's memorable." Rather than being perfect. And I think it's very easy to put off creation in the first place, put off starting, put off finishing, because we want to make something that's like 100% perfect, technically, brilliant, and we focus too much on the technicality. Whereas what we really need to be doing, I think, with creating remarkable, memorable work, is that we don't need to be perfect. In fact, the rough around the edges aspect of remarkable work is actually what makes it remarkable, because it makes it human. Okay, so this idea really helps me, for example, flip open the phone to do this video, because I know that I'm going to look like a bit of a moron. I've got dodgy teeth, and my skin doesn't look great at the moment, but that sort of adds to hopefully the memorability of the video if it goes well from here on out and something doesn't hit me in the face as I do this. So think about that. Realize that actually beauty doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. In fact, the fact that it isn't perfect, and that it is imperfect, and that it reflects a certain amount of chaos, the chaos of reality, and it reflects the impermanence, the imperfection of life. And some of these words I'm grabbing from this definition of wabi-sabi, which is a Japanese term to describe the beauty that you find in imperfection, in transience, in something that is kind of fleeting. So I don't know if you've looked up wabi-sabi. It's quite an interesting tie-in to this concept of creating remarkable, memorable, emotional work. It's the kind of work that is more truthful. I guess that's what it comes down to as well. It's about digging into truth. And I think when you create something that's totally perfect, you might be creating something that is robotically truthful, that is truthful in someone's dream, but it is not true to reality. And reality is all about imperfection. Reality is about the gaps between the molecules, if you see what I mean. I'm getting very deep here, but reality is what we're looking for. Reality is what people connect with emotionally. So when you create stuff, you don't need to think too deeply about it. Just be willing to show your cracks in your vase. Show the chips in your vase, in your mug, when you share it. Don't worry about creating the absolute perfect thing, because it's probably going to add to the experience that the user has of it. It'll make it better, and it'll make it memorable, because they'll think, "Oh yeah, this is someone who's human, just like me." And when you create that kind of "they're like me" link, that's when you start to create an emotional memorable connection with someone. And that is really the end goal. It's not about the perfection. It's not about looking like the best in the world in terms of technicalities. It's about creating an emotional impact with your reader, with your audience, with your fans. They want to know that you're human, but they also want to know that you do interesting work that has taken some thought. So how does this all ties into success in general as well? It's not just about kind of living the starving artist life. How do we tie in remarkability with success? If you can combine an almost aggressive consistency, a willingness to be uber productive and uber just sort of like maniacal about your creative work and creating remarkable work at the same time, it's that combination that I think is the absolute winning formula for really making a dent and really building momentum as well. When we see these little wins, these little positive results, these are the things that are gonna keep us going and gonna keep us positive about what we're doing. So create remarkable work and focus on truth, focus on the emotional connection. The best way to get to that, which I neglected to talk about actually, was it's how it makes you feel. I know I don't want to get too touchy-feely because some of the more logical, left-brained types amongst you might react negatively to it. But actually, most of for example, the articles that I've written have been very emotional for me personally, and as soon as I hit those emotional notes, I'll know that when I send the article out, it's going to have a better result than the ones that seem, technically accurate but not really emotional. So go for emotion, go for truth. That's what's going to create remarkable work, and if you can do that with massive consistency, getting pieces out like Picasso, paint me a Picasso picture, just pump them out. Look at his stuff. He had one of the weirdest art around, but he was one of the more memorable artists and one of the more lucrative artists, let me reiterate, because he created remarkable stuff that was different but imperfect and was rooted in reality and rooted in truth and rooted in emotion. And he combined that with a ruthless consistency. He put out, I think, an average of 2 pieces of art every day of his life, of his working life. So think about that, guys. How can that motivate you to actually push the launch button and revive some of that lost energy that you've got hiding away, that's stuck? So combine remarkable work, emotional work, which is work that you come to through feeling it. I could talk so much about this, it's crazy, and I can't fit it all into a 10-minute video, but remarkable work, combine that with being consistent as hell. Maybe you want to read the Compound Effect book or the Slight Edge book. Brilliant books on consistency and the cumulative effect of putting stuff out is really where success lies. Combine that with remarkable emotional work, and you're gonna make a real impact in this world. So good luck with that, guys. As a final parting note, I'd like to direct you to, I suppose, my Instagram. Let's do Instagram as my call to action for today. So go to instagram.com/Red Lemon Club, and you're going to see at least one drawing a day that I put out, an illustration with a kind of a message in it, a quote of mine, an idea, and it's usually hand-drawn, it's usually quite nicely illustrated, so well worth following. And do tag a friend and share my pieces with friends that you think would find them useful as well. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video.